what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. So yeah, what you see right there is a 1966 Ford Mustang. And obviously on some of the videos you've seen from me, I also have a 2022 Tesla Model Y. So two totally different vehicles, both very exciting. But they're, obviously 56 years apart, but extremely exciting. Now, I bought the Tesla, I don't know, took delivery about 7, 8 weeks ago. And I've had the 66 Mustang now for about a little bit over 3 years. So it's a car I've always wanted, even when I started to drive at 16. So it's definitely been exciting. Now I haven't worked on it as much in the past couple of years, so it's actually been sitting in the garage for a while. But I don't know if you saw in one of my previous videos when I was getting my wheel repaired, but may have took a glimpse of it in the background there as we were repairing my wheels. So, but yeah, I thought, maybe a good time to introduce the Mustang to you guys. I have a lot of things that I've planned to do to it. I've bought several parts in the past and want to get them installed, and thought, might be a perfect opportunity to mix in, some mods and upgrades I do to the Tesla, but also the mods and upgrades that I do to the Mustang. More repair that needs to be done to the Mustang, but really want to get it on the road. It does drive, doesn't drive well, but it drives. And one of the first things I really need to do is get it inspected. Here in Texas, we need to get it inspected before we can get it registered. So that's something that I need to have done. But we need to take care of a few things, really just be able to pass a safety inspection. So in the next coming videos, we'll get some of that taken care of. But how about we walk around the car, take a peek at it, show you what the 66 Mustang looks like, and I'll point out a couple things that I've done to it thus far, and talk about some of the things that I have upcoming, and that way we can upgrade this together. All right, here it is. Like I said, it's a 1966 Ford Mustang coupe. It does have a 289 engine. Like I said, I did buy this about 3 years ago, and it's been fun. It's been, a car that I've been wanting for a long time. Finally had the opportunity to buy one, and I'm glad I have it. It's been interesting to try to figure out how to get this thing to work. When I bought it, it was driving, was able to drive it, and I've had made some upgrades to it, but want to be able to make more to upgrades. Now it has been redone, as you can see, and some things still need to be finished, but it's not bad. It's in pretty decent shape. Been fairly happy with it, but it's definitely been a learning experience. Taking a closer look at the interior here. Now, some things that I have done is installed this new gauge here, and it's more electronic, so functions pretty well, and really like it. The old school gauge didn't work out that well for me, so upgraded to the new electronic gauge. Now, this center console thing is by TMI. Really wanted a center console purely just to get those cup holders right there. But the other thing that I had planned for this is this double din right here that you see right by the shifter. And basically I'm going to be replacing the stereo system with a new double din screen. That's something that I've been wanting to do, being able to add a little bit more modern features to it. So obviously I'm not trying to keep this as pure and original as possible. I'm more into the Restomod, so you're going to see a couple things in here that are definitely not original to the vehicle, but you know, just adding a little bit more modern touches to it. Something that I found very frustrating when I first got the vehicle and trying to figuring out what's going on is the electrical system. And so what I've actually added here in the trunk and built from scratch, you can see here, is basically another fuse box. Well, actually I have two new fuse boxes. So you see one right over there, and then one right over here, which these are actually all on separate relays. So if you guys are familiar with the electrical system in these old classics, the fuse box is extremely minimal. I believe it only has 6 or 8 circuits to it. So basically what I've done here is added 24 new circuits. So pretty happy with this setup. Now what I have running off of this are 3 new circuits right now. And so basically we'll get to it as we look at the engine bay, but I do have electric choke running to it, electric fan, and electric fuel pump. So something else that I've also added in here is some sound deadening material. Doesn't really help all that much, considering I am running Flowmaster system down here, so it's definitely pretty loud, so sound deadening doesn't really do much, but really just wanted to cover up some of the metal. Not that the metal was bad or anything, it just looked bad, but trying to help out with some rattling, and that's probably why you see the sound deadening material in here. All right, let's get into the engine bay. I'm sure this is kind of what you guys have been waiting for and wanting to see. Like I said, it is a V8 289 engine. Originally, it was a 2-barrel carburetor. So as you can see, we've upgraded to a 4-barrel Edelbrock AVS2 carburetor with a Edelbrock intake manifold. So it's one of the first things that I did to the vehicle. And what else did I do? So yeah, just the other day, actually a couple weeks ago now, I had to get a new battery. So got that installed, that way I could start this thing up and actually move it around. But one thing I also wanted to point out is all this large wire here connected to the battery, starter solenoid, and the alternator and all that. As you can see, this large red wire that you see wrapping around the engine bay and leading into the firewall here is basically that large red wire that we saw in the trunk to help feed the 2 new circuit fuse boxes that we have built back there. Here you can see this little cheapo fuel pump replaced the manual fuel pump that was there. Wanted to make sure that I was actually getting fuel to this thing at all times. It works okay. But you know, I may upgrade that in the future. But some other things that wanted to point out is this car once had you know, an AC system, so you see the brackets for that. The previous owner tried to get it running, but wasn't very successful. So do have the brackets for that, and I did buy a new kit from Classic Auto Air, so bought that kit to be able to put in here. Did install that new electric fan, just to make sure that I'm getting, a little bit better cooling and more consistent cooling than the standard fan that was in here. Now that radiator was previously installed, so that was an upgrade that was done previously. Works okay so far, so I don't know, we'll see. May thinking about upgrading that a little bit later, but works right now, so seems to be okay. Something else that I need to do is add power steering in here. I did buy the Borgeson kit, so I need to add that power steering system in here, because one thing that I am going to do, just from a safety perspective, is replace that single bowl master cylinder with a dual bowl master cylinder, along with the brake booster. Currently still have drum brakes on this vehicle, so eventually we'll upgrade that. What else can I point out in this engine that I've done? Obviously replaced a couple of vacuum hoses, upgraded this linkage here because the one that was previously in here was totally bent up. As you can see, some of the new wires that I had to kind of cut, splice, and replace because they were all nicked, cut, and all kinds of spaghetti mess. So tried to clean that up as I was upgrading, or actually adding the 2 new fuse boxes. What else I do? I did add a new temperature sending unit, oil pressure sending unit over here, and then when I installed this new fuel pump, ran a new hardline fuel pump or fuel line to the carburetor. So that's a new hard line instead of a hose. So it did do that. So yeah, guys, that's all I had. I wanted to introduce the Mustang to you guys because we got a lot of parts to install, a ton of parts. So from a new power steering, power brakes, new sound system, bunch of parts that we just really need to fix. So it'll be fun. I'm going to continue to obviously do some mods and upgrades to the Tesla behind me here. So obviously going to definitely continue to do that because that's my daily driver, and that's something that I'm obviously excited about. But to be able the difference between the electric vehicle and the ICE vehicle, it's crazy different. Obviously 56-year-old difference. So it'll be fun though. It'll be fun. So hope you guys follow along. Definitely subscribe because there's a lot of content coming up between the Tesla and the Mustang. So I'm excited. Hope you guys are excited. So with that, I'll catch you guys in the next one.